Hi, Richard Restucia, Director of Water Management Solutions for Valley Crest Companies. My guest this afternoon is John Salustri with globestreet.com, and we're here at the BOMA show in Seattle, Washington. John, welcome.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you for coming out today.
I appreciate the time.
Listen, you were one of the moderators this morning of the highlights of the Real Estate 2020 panel.
Right.
What are some of the things you learned there this morning?
Well, you know, it's really interesting. We had a good cross-section of disciplines because we had people from the tech side, we had people from the design side, we had people from the development side. And they all meshed really well, which as a moderator I was really happy about. You know, there weren't any talking heads. But really, I think the thrust of it was that, you know, as opposed to just having an economic crisis to deal with and corporations cutting back due to that, cutting back on their corporate space, you also have sort of a perfect storm, you know, a hat trick, if you will, of issues. You have not only the economy, which is crucial, but you also have, you know, the great advancement, almost a generational shift every 2 or 3 years of technology, you know, that's, you know, advancing at a pace that hardly any of us can keep up with. Plus there's the fact that baby boomers are retiring, and more, as one of the panelists indicated, they're looking to replace those boomers with Gen Y. And the Gen Y brings a whole different culture to the corporate environment that decision makers are going to have to deal with. And if they themselves, the corporate decision makers that is, aren't themselves plugged into what's going on, then they're going to be told what's going on by their stockholders, by their customers, and by their employees. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic that takes place over the next 2 or 3 years, even when the economy finally straightens out.
Yeah, boy, it sure is. What an exciting time it's going to be, huh?
It really is, and in many ways a frightening time.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know, one thing that's great about your position and your organization is you get so much great exposure to leaders in the industry. What are some of the trends you're seeing right now and hearing from these leaders?
We know it was interesting. There was a press conference that the BOMA folks just held. And I think we tend to forget this in the day-to-day, but it was on the impact of commercial real estate. We always say constantly how local real estate is, but we forget, and they brought this out again in the most recent study, that commercial real estate, the office side of it, contributes $15 trillion to the GDP.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And that doesn't include retail, it doesn't include industrial, it doesn't include hotels. That's a massive contribution for such a local industry.
Right, absolutely. So one of the things we keep on hearing more and more about, it seems like, is sustainability.
Right.
What are you hearing out there?
Yeah, sustainability is a funny thing because you have to be able to pay for it, first of all. There's an upfront cost there. And I've never heard anybody say, well, it has decreased with technology as you think it might. Maybe it has, I haven't heard it. Haven't heard people at the field level management say, we need sustainability, you know?
Right.
We do hear that it's being driven a lot by the corporate user, but they're also being driven by their stockholders. So, you know, I think it's still very much, while it's critical to the office environment going forward. It's certainly critical to the environment. I still think very much it's a top-down sort of a dynamic that we're hearing. I don't know that everybody really fully embraces this yet, or just like we were talking about with the changes in the office, that everybody at the field level really fully appreciates how important it's going to be to them strategically going forward.
Right. I wonder what we can do to help these field level people understand the value here.
You know, it's a really good question, and you would think that, you know, us talking about it, that, you know, the people who, you know, sign their paychecks are talking about it, and that must be the greatest driver, and most important, that the corporations, the end user, hopefully they're beginning to talk about it.
Right.
The question is, are they in a position to talk about it now, or are they just trying to keep their heads above water? And we're at that critical stage right now where maybe, I've always said this, last year, you know, we were hoping to say things this year that maybe we'll be saying next year.
Right.
You know, when the economy is a little bit, you know, more level. And when it is, maybe then I think sustainability might fully come into its own.
Yeah.
One can only hope.
Right. Okay, well listen, this has been really a great discussion today.
It was fun.
Full of a lot of valuable information. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank
I really
you, Rich,
appreciate
for your
it.
time.